Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh my goodness. Happy New Year. This is amazing. It is January of 2026. Can't even believe I'm saying that, but here we are. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had an amazing holiday, and I hope not only that this week is starting off amazing for you, but like the whole year. I hope you have such a strong start to the new year. And, thank you for joining in. Thank you so, so, so much because it just means everything that I get to have this conversation with all of you. Welcome to the It's Not You pod, the place where your symptoms finally make sense. That's the important conversation we have here every week, Mondays at noon. I'm Jackie Koza, your perimenopause fat loss coach. I spent 15 years as a figure skating coach before my own hormonal shift rewrote everything I knew about my body. So I am in the club, ladies. I'm in the club with you. Now, I help women just like us burn fat, fix the fatigue, drop the bloat, and stop buying the bullshit that we just have to live with our age because this is just our age and that's it, right? Because it doesn't have to be like that. So if your body's been acting differently, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. I just love sharing tips and tricks and talking about topics each week that really pertain to this phase of life that we're in. We're all in it together, and there's no reason why we can't come together and talk about it. So, first, I want to talk about, because I mention this every so often each week, 1 liter. I refill this. This is my little desk thing. Actually, it's from the Disney's 50th anniversary collection, and the other side is Starbucks. I don't know if it's going to let me. It's like Starbucks x Disney. I love it. It's my 2 favorite things. So I refill this with water. I have about 4 of these a day. When I do a workout, that is a different water jug that I have. So I do about 4 of those a day, plus my workout water jug. So it's over a gallon. I do not recommend that much water for anybody who does not do intense workouts. Okay. But 4 liters a day is a great number to work up to. Do not drink it all at once. Water poisoning is a thing. We don't need to wash away our electrolytes. That's why it's a thing. So the other thing I enjoy is coffee. Coffee. Yes, I'm a New Yorker. Is my coffee. So my favorite coffee at the Bucks, I call Starbucks the Bucks, is a venti iced shaken espresso with almond milk. What they do is they put a little bit of water in with a doppio espresso with 2 shots of espresso, and then they fill the rest up with almond milk. So it is not a high calorie thing. So that is like my thing. And then I add a scoop of my favorite protein in it. That's my little protein hack because we are about to talk about fueling today. And I wanted to show you give you a little insight on how I fuel. I know that I talk about this every so now and again, but I also like to demonstrate because example is everything, right? I lead example. Here we are, stirring it in. This is an easy way to get 24 grams of protein. Now, the other thing I did this week when I was over at the grocery store. Oh, how cute. The barista, I actually know this barista. She wrote, "You're the best." I love my Starbucks crew. They're so sweet. Whoever does the hiring there really hit the jackpot with their crew, and props to them. So this week I was really jonesing for chocolate. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I think this week I really want like a double chocolate something. So double chocolate muffin mix by Kodiak Cakes. And one will have, it's going to be 4 grams of fat for one muffin with 11 grams of protein. So when I choose things, I like to make sure there's way more protein than there is fat. Okay. So this is about 3 times more protein than there is fat, and that's a good ratio for me. That's what I recommend too. When you look at a food label, you also want to make sure the sodium is not out of this world. 330 milligrams, that's fine, because the recommended daily is around 21 or 2200 a day. So if you're doing that for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're at like 1100-ish milligrams. So that's half. So you're good with something around that. If you keep it under 500 milligrams or around 500 as a target, 500 to 700 per meal, that's a good range. If you like to break things down and make it easier, that actually makes it easier for me. I keep it to the 500 to 700 milligram range per meal. That way, one, you're not thirsty because you're not drinking or eating salt in a meal. And 2, you're also getting the amount, you're not going to exceed the recommended daily amount of sodium. So anyway, back to protein. One muffin has 11 grams of protein. I'm going to add a scoop of my favorite frosted chocolate cupcake protein powder. So that's going to be 24 grams of protein plus 11. Okay, that's 35 grams of protein for breakfast. Plus, I'm going to have 24 grams of protein in my coffee. Anyone want to do that math? I'm breaking out my calculator because 35 for the muffin plus 24 in my coffee. That's 59 milligrams of protein for breakfast, coffee, and a muffin. Okay, so 59 milligrams just at breakfast. And I'm always talking to you guys about at least get 100 in a day. That should be like your baseline. That is not what everybody's individual need is, but that's a good place to start. So 59 milligrams of protein just with breakfast. I'm going to exceed 100 easily for the rest of the day if I start out strong. Okay. Now, I don't always do a muffin. Sometimes I'll do overnight oats. I know some people feel that's gross. If overnight oats aren't your thing, that's okay. We can find it in other ways. Some people prefer muffins. This is a good way to do it. 60 grams of protein for breakfast. And I can even add to that some flaxseed, which I will do, and I'm going to get some great fiber out of that. Speaking of fiber, let's take a look at fiber. I'm going to get 5 milligrams of fiber just from eating the muffin. Plus, I'll add some flax to it, and I'll get another 7-ish grams. So I'm already at a good place. You want to get like 20 to 25 of fiber a day. Yes, fiber is key in midlife as well. We want to keep digestion rolling. We want to keep our gut healthy. It is more essential than ever. So yes, I'm going to get my fiber and I'm going to get my protein. All right, guys. So I do enjoy sharing that with you. Hope that's very helpful. If you have any questions, comment, DM me. I'm happy to help if you are, looking for an easy way to get your protein in. I actually have a high protein crock pot meal guide that has some delicious stuff. I've gotten some great reviews about it. Great feedback. People are really enjoying. There's like this lemon chicken that's like delicious. The chili, oh my God, I've had that myself. It's so good. There's like a barbecue chicken in there. There is stuff for Taco Tuesday. So definitely you can also DM me crock pot, and I will know that that is what you're looking for, but that is high protein recipes for the crock pot. Throw it in, set it, forget it, make dump bags, throw it in. Like I said, set it, forget it. You could pull a dump bag out of a freezer and just friggin' dump it in before you go to work. It takes 2 seconds, done, right? So, easy way to get your protein. The thing is, you've got to do the work to get there. You've got to want to put it in your mouth. I can't put it in your mouth for you. I can't be like, oh, 59 grams of protein for the muffin. And then you're like, great idea, Jackie. And then not eat it and then wonder why things are happening to you that you could have offset by eating the protein. You have to do the thing. Okay. So on that note, let's get into today's topic. You're not in a plateau. You just might have stalled your progress. Okay. With underfueling and being overstressed. So when I say underfueling, it means you're under eating, underfueling. Okay. And I want to talk about this because this is a major topic. A lot of times we think about stress as like, I am stressed. I feel stressed, but we do not equate stress with when we undereat because we have a goal weight or we have like some kind of we're working toward a goal weight, let's call it, and we're under eating to get there. That's stressing your body out. If you're not eating maintenance calories, that's the amount of calories, protein, fat, and carbohydrate that your body needs to function, like minimally. If you're not eating that minimal amount because you're looking to drain fat out of your body, however you're thinking about it, your body is stressed. So it's going to retain stuff. So you may think you're in a plateau, nothing's changing, but it's really not a plateau because we'll get into it. Okay. So you feel like you've hit a wall, right? Like nothing's changing, Jackie. I've got all this stuff that I want to do. How come nothing's changing? There's no movement on the scale. There's no inches coming off, no energy. My energy feels tanked. How come that's happening? I'm just not getting any traction. Well, like it's convenient to say we're in a plateau, and look to where we can go harder in some way to break that plateau. But we may think of it as, something that we can break through and bust through by doing something more to the extreme, okay? But it's something deeper, like it's quieter, and it's something your body has been trying to communicate for a while with you. It's not a plateau, because a true plateau means that your body has everything it needs. You're eating in a surplus, you're moving around, and it still isn't responding. But it's almost never the case because the women I speak with about this plateau idea is they're depleted, they're underfueled, they're overstressed, running on fumes, meaning you're under your maintenance calories while you're trying to operate at full capacity. Okay, so if you're still under eating and you're doing all the things, running around like a chicken without a head and thinking that, oh, well, you know what? I'm a mom and my kids are busy, so I don't have a choice but to, eat one bar all day, like one protein bar that's probably super, super processed with, not whole foods at all. And that's all I have, or a bag of popcorn because my kids are busy. Well, guess what's going to happen? Like, just because you're under eating by most of the day, and I've seen people who have eaten, 200 calories in a day. Okay. And when your maintenance is over 2,000 calories a day and you're eating 200, think about everything your body's not getting. It's really going to go into protection mode, because you're very depleted. You're running on fumes, like I just said. And if your calories are too low, your plateau is really just your body doing the best it can. And you're putting it in that position because, like I started out saying, I could give you all the tips and tricks, but if you're not putting the food in your mouth, if you're deciding, nope, I'm too busy for this, then it's not going to change. And if you are hitting it hard for 1 week and then the next week going back to the same habits, still you might see like an incremental shift, but then your body's going to shift back into protection mode. So you're confusing your body. You can't do it 1 week and not the next. You can't do it for a month and a month on and a month off. It has to be a lifestyle change. Okay, let me say that a little bit louder for my ladies in the back because I do want you to hear this. It has to be a lifestyle change. All right, it's not a 1 month on, 1 month off thing. Oh, I'll work with Jackie for 90 days and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing. No, that's not how it works. So we do lifestyle changes at Anywhere Fit. It is up to you to make those lifestyle changes to see the change because I can't do it for you. I can do it for myself, make my body change, and I have done that, but I can't do it for you. I could give you all the tools. I will educate you. I do all of those things. We are here today so I can help with education here. All right. And plateau does not mean your body is stuck. It means you're being protected. It is protecting you. Our body does biological things. That's just the way it is. So when you're under eating, overworking, overscheduling yourself, undersleeping, overthinking, under recovering, over caffeinating, under carbing. That's right, I said carb. Under carbing. Overdoing cardio. We have a lot of cardio bunnies that listen to us. So when you're overdoing that cardio, it's also going to work against you. Under hitting protein. I know protein can fill you up, but you got to hit those protein targets. Over carrying emotional load. Your metabolism will shift into conservation mode and your body will hold on to energy, hold on to water, hold on to fat. It'll hold on to anything it thinks it might need. Okay. So your body's not refusing to change. It's responding to the load that you're providing it. And that so-called plateau is often your body saying, I don't have enough to work with. I'm trying to keep you safe. I need more support before I can do more for you. That is the biggest thing. I'm going to say that again. Your body is telling you, I need more support before I can do more for you. So I want you to think about that process for a moment and let that sink in, because maybe you need to listen to this podcast a time or two more. Maybe you need to share it with a trusted friend and bounce some thoughts around together. Please do. That's why I am here. That's why we do this every week. This is where we consider this identity shift. And I talk about identity each week because that is what Anywhere Fit is all about. It's that identity shift. It's the lifestyle change. Okay. You're not the woman whose body doesn't respond. You're the woman whose body is overwhelmed and asking for support. You're not stuck. You're just under-resourced. Okay. You're not plateaued. You're carrying too much without nourishment to match it. You don't need to push harder. You need to support deeper. Remember when we started talking about this, I referenced how you don't need to push harder. Yes, you need to support deeper. That is the big thing here. This era of your life isn't about restricting more. It's about replenishment, fueling, and aligning your strategy with your biology. You're not the problem. Your inputs or lack thereof are what's holding you back, and you are capable of changing those inputs. You're capable of doing it. So You're the person who decides if you're going to hit your protein target. You're the person who decides if you are going to only eat a protein bar that day. You're the person who's deciding these things. And if you're a parent, you're modeling this. If you're an auntie, you're modeling this. Okay. People are watching, young eyes are watching. Even if you are, you visit your friends' kids every now and again, like you get together with friends who have kids and you don't have kids yourself, those little eyeballs are watching. You just never know who's being inspired by you. Okay. I actually had a woman walk up to me when I was commuting by train in the city. And I was just grabbing a coffee in the morning. And then I was going to head to the train station to pick up the train ahead in. And this woman is out of nowhere. I didn't know her, but she asked me, oh my God, what is in your bag? What do you eat to look like that? She actually asked me that point blank. She was a new mom. She was pushing this adorable infant in one of those infant strollers with a little seat in the top. And, I stopped to actually miss my train, but it was so worth it because I pulled it out from my meal bag. I showed her. She said, oh my God, you eat all of this? I said, absolutely. That's how I'm able to, build muscle. That's how I'm able to feel so good, but I let her know, she thought I was cutting carbs. I probably ate very little. I said, absolutely not. And I said, in this time of your life, when you're recovering from birth, it's more important than ever that you fuel, that you eat, just like in this time of my life when I'm putting on muscle, it's most important that I'm eating well, that I'm fueling well. And that carries into midlife because now more than ever, my body needs those resources to repair and keep me like really operating well. So yeah, I've been stopped before and people have asked me, how do you look like that? I had coworkers that would look in my lunch bag. They're like, there's no way you're eating pasta. Absolutely, I eat pasta. I eat pasta every single week sometimes. It depended on the meal plan I was doing. I had rice or pasta each week. there was not low carb going on. So, let's think about this. Where have you been calling it a plateau when your body's actually been signaling depletion? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how you've been feeling. I want you to think about those times where you're like, I'm not seeing any change in the mirror. How come, right? Let that guide your 1% shift this week. And if you're a client, bring this into your check-in this week. I want to see where this is showing up for you personally. Okay. And if you're listening and this hit home, your next step is simple. Get your wellness IQ by commenting or DMing IQ, and I'll send you my quiz so you can finally understand what your body has been trying to tell you. All right. And I super, super love that you guys are hanging out with me. Thank you so much. We absolutely love our audience on the It's Not You pod. Remember, I'm here every Monday, noon Eastern. Bring a friend, share this with a woman who needs to hear it, and I will see you next week.